Hi, I'm John Green, and this is Crash Course World History. Imagine walking through ancient Constantinople and stumbling upon a bag of gold coins. What happens next? Is it yours? Do you split it? Over 1,500 years ago, Emperor Justinian faced this exact question. He created a law. If you find treasure on your own land, it's yours. On someone else's land, you split it 50-50. This wasn't just about treasure, it was part of the Justinian Code, a massive effort to organize centuries of messy Roman laws. The code covered everything from murder to property disputes, showing a real commitment to order and fairness. It made the law something everyone could understand, not just the elite. The detail in these laws showed the government cared about everyday problems, not just big political issues. The Justinian Code became one of the most influential legal documents in history. And that rule about found treasure? Versions of it still exist in many countries today. It's a thread connecting us to the ancient world. Today we'll explore how Justinian's legal revolution still shapes our lives. So who was this emperor? Justinian I, ruler of the Byzantine Empire from 527 to 565 AD. He wasn't born into royalty. He came from a peasant family, brought to the capital by his ambitious uncle. Justinian's humble roots gave him a unique perspective on life outside the palace. He was known for his relentless work ethic. People called him the emperor who never sleeps. Justinian wanted to restore Rome's lost glory, expand the empire, and leave a lasting legacy. He was deeply religious, believing his power came from God, and that a unified legal system was part of his sacred duty. For Justinian, law, faith, and empire were inseparable. His wife, Empress Theodora, was just as remarkable. An actress turned empress, she was his closest advisor. Theodora's intelligence and political skill were crucial to Justinian's success. Together, they were a formidable team, determined to reshape their world. Their partnership drove many of the era's greatest reforms. Justinian's vision and Theodora's counsel changed history. Let's see how they tackled the empire's legal chaos. Why did Justinian overhaul the law? Because the system he inherited was a disaster. Imagine 1,000 years of laws, decrees, and rulings piled up, contradictory, confusing, and scattered across the empire. Many laws were written in Old Latin, making them inaccessible to ordinary people. Only the wealthy and educated could navigate the courts. For everyone else, justice was a gamble. Judges faced conflicting laws, and clever lawyers could exploit obscure rules. Justinian saw this chaos as a threat to his empire's stability and prosperity. He believed clear, fair, and accessible laws were essential for a strong society and economy. The old laws reflected a pagan past. Justinian wanted Christian values at the core. He aimed to improve rights for women, protect the vulnerable, and align the law with his faith. Reforming the law was both a practical and moral mission. Justinian set out to build a new legal foundation for a new era. Justinian's vision was summed up in one phrase: one empire, one church, one law. He wanted to reunite the Roman world under his rule, with a single faith and a single legal code. Military campaigns aimed to reclaim lost territories and restore Rome's glory. Religious unity was just as important. He pushed for one Orthodox Christianity, closing pagan schools and suppressing heresy. For Justinian, religious dissent threatened the empire's stability, but the real backbone was the law. A unified legal system would bind the diverse empire together, from Egypt to Italy. The law projected imperial authority everywhere, making Justinian the ultimate source of justice. The Justinian Code was more than a rulebook. It was the foundation of his dream for a perfectly ordered Christian Roman world. Law, faith, and empire were all part of the same grand project. This vision drove the most ambitious legal reform in history. Justinian's motto shaped every decision he made. The code was his tool to create lasting order. Now, let's see how he made it happen. Rewriting 1,000 years of law? Justinian needed a dream team. In 528, he appointed Tribonian, a brilliant legal scholar, to lead a commission of experts. Their first task, organize centuries of imperial edicts into the codex, keeping what worked, discarding what didn't. Next, they tackled the writings of Rome's greatest legal minds, sifting through millions of lines to extract key principles. The result was the Digest, a 50-book encyclopedia of Roman legal thought. Tribonian's team worked at lightning speed, editing and clarifying the old texts. They didn't just copy, they shaped the law into a coherent system. This was a massive intellectual feat, driven by Justinian's relentless ambition. The team's work laid the groundwork for a unified legal code. Their achievement was nothing short of extraordinary. The stage was set for the 4 great books of law. The result of all this work? 4 monumental books, or body of civil law. First, the Baum, a cleaned-up collection of imperial laws covering everything from taxes to crime. Second, the 50 books of legal opinions and reasoning, the intellectual heart of the system. They explain not just what the law was, but why it existed. Third, a concise textbook for law students, ensuring the next generation understood the new system. Finally, the new laws issued after the main code, many written in Greek, reflecting the evolving empire. Together, these 4 parts formed a living, adaptable legal system. Though it was more than a code, it was a blueprint for justice. It preserved Roman legal wisdom and made it accessible for centuries to come. The system was designed to be clear, logical, and fair. It set a new standard for legal organization. Justinian's Code became the model for future generations. Its influence would reach far beyond the empire's borders. The 4 books changed the course of legal history. Let's see how they made law clear for everyone. Justinian's Code revolutionized justice by making law clear and fair. Before, the law was a tool for the powerful. Now it was accessible and predictable. Judges across the empire applied the same rules, creating consistency and equal justice. The code introduced the principle of innocent until proven guilty, a radical idea at the time. The burden of proof shifted to the accuser, protecting ordinary people from false charges. The law, not local power, became the ultimate authority. Rights were written down and could be defended in court. Legal education was standardized with creating a professional class of lawyers and judges. Justice became a matter of clear rules, not luck or connections. The code's clarity and fairness set a new benchmark for legal systems everywhere. What happened to Justinian's Code after the empire? For centuries it was forgotten in Western Europe, replaced by local customs and church law. But around 1070, a copy of thee was rediscovered in Italy, sparking a legal revolution. Scholars at universities like Bologna studied it, amazed by its logic and detail. They taught it to students from across Europe, who brought its principles home. This revival led to the rise of civil law systems in France, Germany, Spain, and beyond. The Napoleonic Code, for example, was heavily inspired by Justinian's work. Through colonialism, civil law spread to Latin America, Africa, and Asia. Today, most of the world's legal systems are rooted in Justinian's ideas echo in courtrooms from Brazil to Japan. One emperor's code shaped the laws of billions. So what does a 1500-year-old code mean for you today? Even if you live in a common law country, Roman law's influence is everywhere, especially in contracts, property, and legal reasoning. The basics of contracts, offer, acceptance, intention, were laid out in the corporate personhood. The idea that companies can own property and sue also comes from Roman law. Every time you sign a contract or interact with a company, you're touching this ancient legacy. Most importantly, the Justinian Code helped establish the rule of law, clear, public rules that apply to everyone. It's the foundation of modern justice and democracy. Justinian's system planted the seeds for a more just world. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more history.